This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast an unidentified 34-year-old man from Cleveland, Ohio. Now, he got pulled over last week outside of a Walmart, and he tried to get out of it. You see, he was driving on a suspended license with expired plates. He had a 2-year-old kid in the car. That kid was not in a car seat, so he kind of panicked. And he came up with this very cunning plan. You see, as he was getting pulled over, he called 911. And then he claimed to the 911 operator that someone had just been shot outside of the Walmart. Now, see, the plan was to make the cops who pulled him over respond to the fake shooting instead because the Walmart was so close. You follow, right? I pull out of Walmart, I get pulled over. Well, now I'm going to say there was just a shooting there. These cops will have to let me go. They'll deal with the shooting. The problem was simply this. The dispatcher traced his call and realized that he was the same person that was being pulled over by the police who had just radioed that they were pulling someone over. So they arrested his ass. Now he's facing charges for making a false report. They also cited him for multiple traffic violations.
Damn. No,
he probably would not have been arrested for perceived crimes. You know what I mean? He'd had to pay some hefty fines and all that. But now
not with a child in the car.
Right, like all this stuff.
Even though the child was not in the
car seat. I mean, he would get cited. You know, he didn't pay a lot of money, but he just made things a lot worse. And by the way, it doesn't work, just in case you were thinking about doing it. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steve Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Matt. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola. All right, Matt, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You know you have your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? And finally, interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Let's do drugs.
Drugs.
Oh, I didn't know you meant for the game. I was like, I'm down with this dude.
What you got, Matt?
Hell yeah,
Matt.
Let's
do it.
All right, here is your story. A woman was arrested for driving. Is the right one? Yes, it is drugs. Sorry. A woman was arrested for driving under the influence of drugs after she slammed her car into a fast food restaurant. This happened in Fairfield, Connecticut. Yasmin, whose last name I cannot possibly pronounce, had to be treated for lacerations on her hands from the impact. She and a passenger both needed to be transported to the hospital for treatment. Now, according to police, her Hyundai Accent traveled across a grassy medium and into the side of a McDonald's. And a McDonald's sustained about $150,000 damage. Yeah. Now, officers said they found marijuana, cocaine, and several pharmaceutical-grade narcotics, which were seized as evidence. Investigators said they also discovered that she was under the influence of both cocaine and another drug at the time of the crash. Well, she was eventually arrested at a gas station sometime later as a result of the follow-up investigation. And there, police said they found more cocaine in her possession at the time of the arrest. Well, she was charged with driving under the influence of drugs, reckless driving, operating a motor vehicle with a suspended license, possession of narcotics, and failure to keep narcotics in their original container. I could go on and on and on. Anyway,
Jeez, just got them all, huh?
Basically, dude, she swung for the fences. So my question for you, in addition to cocaine and weed, what other drug was she high on when she crashed? Was it meth, heroin, Suboxone, or PCP?
Ooh. In Connecticut, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to lead towards the boxing, just because of all the other. Obviously, she had a bunch of pharmaceutical grade drugs on her, so that could be one of them as well. I don't know. What did Miles and Ted think?
Matt, I'm going to go PCP.
PCP?
Yeah. I don't know. I like your theory, right? She's already got pharmaceuticals. Why wouldn't she have more on her? Could be PCP. But for some reason, I'm leaning towards meth.
Meth for Ted. Matt, what are you thinking?
I'm going to go with my original answer to the Suboxone.
Okay. We're going to find out what other drugs she was on while driving and doing $100,000 damage to McDonald's. Was it meth, heroin, Suboxone, or PCP?
That was a tease.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Category is drugs on profile. This we got a woman arrested driving under the influence after driving her car into a McDonald's restaurant. Must have been going pretty fast, too, because she hurt herself pretty bad. The passenger in a car, $150,000 damage done to the McDonald's restaurant. She had a ton of different drugs on her, cocaine, other things, and she was busted on a lot of different things. But the question was, other than the cocaine, what other drug was she on when she was driving? Was it methamphetamines, heroin, Suboxone, or PCP?
And that is the very question that we posed to you, Matt. And you went with Suboxone.
Suboxone.
So look, man, she got pulled over with the high-grade pharmaceuticals, etc. It's a wonderful theory. Unfortunately, not correct.
Oh.
I'm not saying she's not on Suboxone. She just wasn't on it at the time of the crash. Ted Smith, you went with methamphetamine.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm afraid meth is usually a solid go-to, right?
Feel like it.
It's just all the rage. And
It's always there.
Miles, you went with PCP.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
PCP
I
and
just figured
cocaine.
she was driving that fast. She wouldn't be doing a speedball. If she was doing cocaine, she wouldn't be doing the heroin Suboxone. I mean, maybe not driving 100-some miles an hour, but anyway. Now for all TV news all time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box,
Armageddon.
The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
God. It's some rain in here. There's damn pollen out of this city. Gracious. Been hurting. Let's see. Over the weekend, I watched a little bit, watched some sports. I watch the English Soccer League, right? The Premier League.
Yeah.
Very much enjoy it. I've been to London. Had a blast. I don't like the English national team for whatever reason, right? Maybe just because, like, they invented soccer and they're so kind of arrogant about it. Like, we're the best every year.
Of course.
But they were in the final of the Euros on Sunday, games at noon. And I was like, God, are they actually going to win?
They haven't been there in a while, though, right? I mean, I know they're all of that, but it's been a long time since our national team played in a Euro Cup final, right?
I am not positive about being in the final. I can tell you this, but it's been, I want to say since the 60s or something that they've actually won a major tournament for the senior men. Right? So I think like Messi over the weekend with Copa America, right? He finally got a title. So I want to say it's him and some other guy on Argentina's team. They had won a U20 World Cup or a U23. But when they got to the top, the senior team, they had never won Copa or World Cup. So England's kind of in the same boat. They have all these horror stories about finals in the World Cup and Euro Cups and coming down to kicks. And that's the other thing. For whatever reason, they always come down to kicks and they always lose. Well, they lost again on Sunday.
Because it came down to kicks.
Yeah. What I will say, though, I was with a crowd of people who are not big soccer fans. England scored quick, and then I said, just wait till the 65th minute. Look at what Italy's doing. They're going to put one in. I think they scored in the 66th. And a couple people were like, how did you know that? I'm like,
pre-recorded.
I was like, if you just watch enough soccer. Yeah. So that was pretty good. The other excitement from the weekend was that Conor McGregor had fought and lost again. Sorry, man. I was about to...
You sucked it back up, though.
I did. Trying to fight through. Conor McGregor lost because he broke his leg, which was pretty vicious and everything else. I still don't understand how that man's he's not that great, this and that. Well, he did check your kick.
Is that what probably snapped it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he stepped back. For some reason, I saw a picture, so I didn't see how he did it.
Didn't you hear him, Ted? There were no checks. He broke his own leg just from his own kick.
I've seen somebody step back at an MMA event, and the dude did break his leg. But that just comes from years of repeated, kicking somebody else in the shins, and they check him. So, I don't know. Look, Conor, I get it. He moves a lot of tickets. I'm sure a bunch of people bought the pay-per-view. I've heard the whiskey's decent, even though he sold his part in it. But, he's just a sore loser.
Oh, you're still talking smack.
Yeah.
Come on, Sneezy. I know which dwarf you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there has been an inch of pollen outside my place for the last 2 months. It's usually by this point in the summer it's gone, but usually it rains during June.
Sure. Right. I mean, no offense, dude. You've looked like a really sad guy all day.
Yeah,
eyes all red, face puffy.
Which is weird, because for a Monday I don't even feel that bad.
Right. Not hungover.
No, I just look like crap. Which is almost worse.
Right, but people think there's nothing wrong.
Yeah,
so
right.
Allergies.
Or when you're actually sick, and somebody's like, oh, long night last night. No, I just have a cold.
I have the flu, man. What the hell?
I feel like crap.
What's worse, long night last night, but you have the flu, or everyone's like, man, do you have the flu? And you're like, this is just one bad night.
That's a good question.
I think it's worse that way. So I'm like, oh, my God, are you sick? Bro, I'm just hungover. I did not realize I look that bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth. At least when you're hungover, you feel like you kind of earned looking like crap.
Absolutely.
You had a good time to get there.
Right, as opposed to today, it's just allergies. My face just, my eyes look all crappy and running a faucet of clear fluid here. Speaking of clear fluids, over on The Bachelorette, she's basically going to challenge all the suitors to refrain from self-pleasuring.
Okay.
I'd be like, nah. Sorry, lost.
That's like my mom asking me, are you masturbating in the bathroom? No, I'm not.
A couple minutes.
No, I'm.
I mean, I would think, first of all, if you're living in a house with a bunch of other dudes, it's going to be hard to find time to do that anyhow.
But you'll find a way. Mm-hmm. But, what is the point of the challenge? I would ask you not to, because I'd straight up be like, no.
I think she thinks it's a challenge, and then, it
is.
Right. So outside of it being a challenge, I don't know what it is. Because me and a couple roommates, we used to have the roommate challenge. Right. We do it every once in a while. And it was basically you couldn't drink certain things or eat certain things. You were supposed to work out. But one of them was masturbating.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and that one always fell within a couple. Yeah, you can make it till about 2 weeks. Then it gets very frustrating.
Yes.
And then maybe you take a trip to Vegas and you find all those free cards.
Make handy work of them.
I did. Anyhow, so I guess that'll be a different twist on The Bachelorette. Guess. I don't know. Can you look at a guy on The Bachelor or Bachelorette and be like, oh, I can tell he hasn't in a while.
That's what I'm saying. How in the hell would you know?
Just like with you, you're standing in the shower. Steve, standing in the shower thinking.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay. No one knows.
Right. Imagine if people did notice.
That you did or did. Would
That
you rather
did.
people
What do you mean, like their hand turned green afterward or something?
Like
Yeah, right, because I mean, you figure...
Residual.
I mean, let's just look at the four of us, right?
All right.
Now, statistically, almost every day, probably one of us has before we got to work.
Before work?
It depends on...
It'd just be funny if it's like I come in, my hand's all lit up green. It's like, oh, got a little time in this morning, huh?
Got up early, did
Yeah.
you? Yeah. Well, the problem, you just couldn't get to work late if you got the green hand. Ted, we need to talk. Look, we know you only ran 5 minutes late, but your hand's green. That tells us those 5 minutes could have been better spent.
Yeah, the green hand.
And how many handshakes would you not take?
Well, that's what I'm saying,
it
because you
doesn't
take
mean you
handshakes
didn't
now all the
wash-
time, and like...
You don't know. The guy could have been masturbating 10 minutes before you met them, but you don't know. So you're willing to take that chance. And there's definitely times where I'm like, boy, I feel bad having just introduced myself because they don't know what I was just doing.
But I guess in the end, would it matter that much? I mean, I just assume
your hand's
people
green-
wash up.
Yeah, but knowing, like G.I. Joe would say, knowing's half the battle. So I believe you washed your hand. I may have washed your hands sanitized, but your hand's green.
You might have been in the shower and be completely clean.
It depends. How long did your hands stay green after you masturbate?
6 hours. I don't know why I picked 6 hours.
So you just do it at night.
Yeah, but look, like Ted's right. Every once in a while, you know, if you're feeling randy in the morning and you come in, like, why are you wearing a glove?
Some people are morning people.
Yeah.
Period.
Right.
I'm
For
guessing
sex
you're
wise.
one of them.
Yeah, I
You seem fired up, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
What about a job interview?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you got a job interview at 9. It's 1:45. You got to decide because that hand's going to be green for 2 hours.
And you're making
6
meatballs
hours.
for IKEA.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Here I am waiting to get the meatballs. Like, why do these guys get the green
Every
hands?
kitchen now requires their cooks to wear gloves to and from work.
Just do.
Yeah.
right,
Eat
this-
this dough.
Well, think about all the celebrities you'd see, right? It's the Super Bowl. Tom Brady's jogging out there like, bro's got a green hand. Within 6 hours, he was handling his business on Super Bowl goddamn Sunday.
Right? Or it's like a boxing match. They take off his glove and his hand's green. Like, you got to be kidding me. Before the match?
Come on, man. My brother out there, you know, first down, dude, we can see your green hand.
This is an interesting list here. These are fictional characters that were originally meant to die.
Jesus. All right. That's a pick.
Well, you
there.
kind of forget. Like sometimes the way the shows are written, the characters are meant to die. Mike, do you have one already?
I know which one. Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad.
That is number 10 on the list.
He was not supposed to survive the first season.
Right. He was supposed to be murdered by a drug dealer in season 1, but people liked the character so much and everything, and he did such a good job at it. They're like, we got to keep him
That's
around.
a testament to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've heard that for a few different characters on different shows. Like, I signed on for a bit part. Like, I was only going to do 4 episodes or whatever. And for some reason, everyone loved him. And, like, Frasier. Not that Frasier was supposed to die on Cheers, but he was supposed to do, like, a bit part on Cheers. That dude ended up playing the same character for 22 years because he got the spinoff. And he's like, yeah, I signed up for, like, 4 episodes, bro. That was it.
Yeah. This one's kind of dark, but Matilda. Early drafts of Ronald Dahl's book showed he meant to kill her off at the end.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's
Then he
problematic,
realized
though.
that he could make money if he did.
Yeah.
More of it.
Let's see. Castle? Castiel? Castilier and Castiel.
From
And Supernatural. Right. Misha Collins was only hired for a few episodes, but his character became so popular they kept him on.
He plays an angel that helps the, I forget the name of the brothers, but he helps them out in their demon hunting exploits, and he's awkward because he doesn't exactly know how to interact amongst humans and how we behave. Because
Okay, all right.
How do you kill an angel?
It's killing demons.
They're already dead.
But that's why, well, they're not dead.
Oh, they in purgatory?
No, a demon or an angel, that's what you are. A ghost would be the presence of someone who is dead.
Okay, all right.
If you're an angel or a demon or a poltergeist, that is just the state with which you exist. Come on, Miles, get
All
it
right,
right.
okay.
That's why they
Because
need
Satan is an angel.
demon hunters. Yeah.
All right.
He's cast out of heaven.
Right. But he didn't lose his angel status.
Yeah, he's the devil now.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's still an angel. I mean,
I
just
guess
the devil.
so.
Yeah. I mean, if you're an angel, you're an angel. You're not a popular angel.
To be fair, when they talk about his angel days, it tends to be in the past tense. He was God's most
Yeah,
beautiful
I think he
angel.
lost his stripes, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I know he lost his stripes. I know that he had a falling out. I I understood that part.
Putting it lightly.
Yeah.
Kenny McCormick in South Park. His death in season 5 was intended to be permanent, but he was missed too much, so he reappeared at the end of season 6.
You might as well.
And then obviously it became a thing where he dies every episode.
Yeah.
Which is a good gimmick.
Happy Hogan in Iron Man 3. In the storyboard, he was intended to die in a massive explosion.
Yeah, he couldn't kill Happy.
All right.
It's just Jon Favreau's character, but he was just goofy. He's kind of silly, but you just liked him.
And he's the director.
Right. And he directed the goddamn movie.
Jon Favreau's like, you know what? We're going to keep my character in a lot of scenes. Again, this is a list of fictional characters that were originally meant to die.
Ooh.
Steve Harrington, Stranger Things. The Duffer Brothers were originally going to kill him off in season 1, but Joe Carey's performance changed their minds.
Which is kind of fun. I remember when he showed up on the show, and the whole time I'm like, you're waiting for him to die. Like, you kind of liked him, but like everything about it was setting up to die. And I guess, well, his popularity, like, yeah, we'll just skip that part.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that's just what a lot of this is. It's the characters are just so popular. Like, somebody was just made the smart move. It's like, what's the point of getting rid of them?
Is Marcel the monkey on there from Friends?
No. Let's see. Ron Weasley in Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling considered killing him off halfway through writing the series.
Damn.
Well, it is kind of funny you bring up Marcel, because that was a storyline for Joey on Friends. Is that, remember, he was acting in soap operas, and was getting kind of popular, and then he did an interview, and he made fun of the writers or something, and then, like, in the next episode, they write him off the show, and he dies.
Damn.
Yeah. Meredith Palmer in The Office. Michael Hott.
It seems a little bit violent to kill somebody off on The Office.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Scott, remember, ran into her with his car. They thought about making it fatal. You're right, which would be dark for The Office, but also like
you would still laugh.
Yeah, and it's Michael Scott.
Okay,
it's like I think you get a little bit of leeway there. Let's see, 11 in Stranger Things. Again, the Duffer brothers thought the series would only be one season, so 11 was going to actually sacrifice herself to save the world.
That's awfully nice. That was not something I would do.
All right, and then the final one of fictional characters that are originally meant to die. I don't know. You guys will know this one. Poe Dameron? Star Wars. He was originally supposed to die in the opening scene of The Force Awakens, but Oscar Alex and J.J. Abrams, he asked J.J. Abrams to change it.
I can appreciate it. Like, yeah, I want to be in the movie. Can I not die? He was the pilot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the main pilot in the later ones.
Okay.
Well, Miles doesn't even recognize his name. He couldn't have been that popular.
No, if I saw him,
he could have just died.
He's got the black hair.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm with you, boss. They should have killed that guy.
I don't think anyone would have cared. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. Michigan man doing yard work finds 160 bowling balls buried in his backyard. Meanwhile, a Special Forces soldier's parachute fails to open, and he smacks into a home, and hard. Ohio man pulled over for traffic stop, calls 911 and reports a fake shooting so cops would leave. A Pennsylvania's couple fight over chips, and a grilled cheese sandwich is actually hard to believe. And it appears Burger King University, they are in need of a new freshman class. And it's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Our top story. Finding something out of the ordinary while renovating your home is more than normal than we admit. But this one raises a few eyebrows. A man was working on his back porch steps when he noticed a black sphere buried in the sand out back. After unearthing it, he found that it was actually a bowling ball from the 1950s, but it gets even stranger. He then proceeded to dig up over 150 bowling balls that were hidden in the area.
What do you think's going through his head at this time, you know?
That's a weird one.
Right. Because you can't even think that it's an avid bowler that's putting these things back there.
Did you realize what it was? It turns out there was a bowling ball factory very close to where his property was.
All right.
And the guys, and these are all from like the 50s.
Right.
So I guess these guys, when there's a slightly defective bowling ball, they would, you can just take them home or whatever. So these guys, they would keep some, but then they realized the bowling balls were cheaper and worked better than like sand and other things if you're building on top of them.
Sure.
So believe it or not, these guys intentionally.
Just a void filler.
Interesting. Yeah, because he reached out to the company that made the bowling balls, and whoever.
See if they're toxic or something like that. He basically was just like, look, is it safe to pick these up?
Right.
They have like asbestos in them, or, you know what I mean?
And they were like, dude, they're fine. And but that kind of explained it, because he's like, I don't understand what's happening.
Right.
This is weird.
It's just a collection of bowling balls in there. And they look weird without all that finish on them, man.
It does. I wouldn't even know what it is at first.
No, because it looks like a medicine ball sort of a
giant pearl.
Right. In other news, a picture of a Burger King in Lincoln, Nebraska is making the rounds. This particular branch is suffering through a staffing issue, much like a lot of businesses. And this was exacerbated by the resignation of a branch manager who was then followed by 8 other employees.
Damn.
Wanting to have a little fun, the employees put out on the reader board for the branch, quote, "We all quit. Sorry for the inconvenience." All right. They intended to take it down before any shift had started that day, but the damage was done. The picture was taken and spread all over the internet. They actually got a note from corporate that was like, hey, we see that picture.
Yeah.
Take that down right now.
And then they quit?
Yeah, they were quitting. I think they still put in their 2 weeks. Like, I think they were doing it properly.
All right.
But I think the branch manager was talking about how just the turnaround was so fast. People would come in to go to work at this place, and then within the week, they were turning around and just quitting, just leaving. Right. So finally, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this, man. It ain't working.
Yeah, I don't know if that changed the sign back if I'd already quit.
Right?
Why would I care?
I think it's because of their mentality. I think they were just doing it as a quick gag. So with corporate coming down on top of it, maybe it increases that pressure just to leave it there. But I don't think they were trying to hurt the business by doing it. I think they were just having fun with it.
And fun time over.
Fun time's over.
I wouldn't change it back.
Strange story out of New Mexico. Police got a call about a naked woman. The woman was originally in a hospital gown when she stripped herself of the cumbersome garment and began to try breaking into nearby cars. When police arrived on the scene, she attempted to run and throw objects at the officers, and she was eventually apprehended. But after being handcuffed, she kicked one of the arresting officers, chalking up arrest charges. Good work. You have to make it worse.
I know.
It's the same for the guy from the shot of the day. You were just going to get a suspended license, expired tabs, whatever else was going to... Now we have to throw felony charges onto this. Great work.
You made it ugly.
You made it ugly. That's right. We go to Pennsylvania for another food fight. A man was enjoying a delicious grilled cheese sandwich and chips when he accidentally dropped some chips into the sink. This prompted his wife to, quote, bother him about it, among other things. When she wouldn't let up, he did what any sane person would do. He attempted to hold her head under bathwater.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's
right.
That adds up.
And when that didn't work, we would all do the same as he did and use a chair to choke her.
Yeah, that's always number 2. Start with the bathwater and then go to the chair.
Police were called and he was arrested. It's chips in the sink. I get it. Maybe she's not letting up about it, but there's better ways to go about this.
I feel like both of them might deserve each other on some level.
That's right.
You were made for each other.
Speaking of the shot of the day, we go to Ohio where a man was stopped by local authorities. The story doesn't detail why exactly he was stopped, but the expired plates and suspended driver's license involved in the situation didn't make the driver feel good about how expensive a ticket he was facing. Thinking quickly, the man decided to call 911 and reported a shooting at a nearby Walmart, hoping to draw the attention of the officer. Sadly, operators were able to ping his phone back to his exact location, and he was arrested for a false report.
I wonder what the call is to the cop, right? So I pulled this guy over. And before I get out of my vehicle, I'm doing whatever it is, they run the plate, whatever, I don't know. But then you get a call from dispatch that says, hey, the guy that you just, because you don't know he's doing that. Sure. So do they explain to the cop then and there, like, hey, in addition to giving him a ticket or whatever's going to go on, pull his ass out of the car and arrest him. He just called it a fake shooting.
You know, when you hear the dispatcher on the radio, it always sounds very serious. I wonder if they just brought down at that moment, like, Steve, do you realize that this guy just called 911 for
this dumb mother effer, right?
Trying to get you off of him. He called in a fake shooting at the local Walmart. Good work. I love it. All right, ladies, and that is it for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Ryan Castle will join us. We will sit and spin. The lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until tomorrow, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.